Jumbo would take Scott as his stuffed animal to bed. And they slept like babies. The zoo owners did not sleep like babies. They were tossing and turning in their beds with nightmares of Jumbo, with Scott not there to calm him down, breaking from his cage, trampling the zebras and the zoo guests right along with them. They went to Scott and they said, "You can do anything you want. Just keep our elephant happy." It was like handing Scott a free pass. And with it began one of London's favorite pastimes. Every day, Scott and Jumbo would meander free as the breeze through the zoo. Nothing to stop them. Scott fashioned a harness on Jumbo so that he could give rise to the children for a penny. Scott liked stacking as many children on there as he could. If he stacked them one right after another, he could get 24 children on Jumbo's back. 25 if Jumbo stuck out his tail. Winston Churchill, the Prince of Wales, Charles Darwin, all rode on Jumbo's back. One day Scott came to Jumbo and said, "Hey, big fella, the zoo owners, they're happy with what you've been doing, the business you've been bringing in, and they built you a new home. This one even has a pool. No more trekking down to the Thames for your bath." Now, Jumbo, he liked trekking down to the Thames. He always gathered quite a crowd and could give them quite a bathing show. But he was excited to see his new home. There, right on the doorway, it read, "Home Sweet Home, Jumbo and Alice." Scott had decided not to tell Jumbo that the new home meant a new mate. When Alice showed up, she said, "Are you glad to see me, Ducky?" And Jumbo just said, "Well, I'd be happier to see your backside go in the other direction." "Oh, now don't say things you don't mean. We'll get along just fine. As long as you remember the most important rule of any relationship, the female is always right." Well, steam billowed out of Jumbo's ears, and those freshly painted walls soon had cracks as Jumbo charged and Alice dodged. They finally came to a "you stay on your half of the room and I'll stay on my half" kind of arrangement. I hope the zoo wasn't hoping for a Jumbo Jr. But the zoo practically sent out wedding invitations for the two. In the paper, you could see a picture of them. Jumbo standing on two legs, tuxedo dressed to the nines, Alice on his arm, silk and satin was her dress. "Come and see the happy couple," it read. And the tabloids, oh, they loved Jumbo and Alice. They wrote, "Jumbo slept on the couch last night." And then Alice batted her eyes and got the bull back. But London truly loved their elephant. He led their parades and carried their children. So they were shocked when word was leaked that the zoo had sold their beloved Jumbo. It was in 1886, and Jumbo was nearing those years when male elephants were known to be particularly hard to handle. P.T. Barnum from the circus had shown interest in Jumbo, and the zoo had jumped on it and sold Jumbo for £2,000. The city was outraged. Children stood on the street corners with buckets to gather coins. "Save our elephant! Keep Jumbo in London!" They needed those funds because the people of London took the London Zoological Society to court, arguing that it was illegal for them to sell Jumbo. Surely there hadn't been the correct number of board members there to ratify the sale. It went all the way to the House of Lords. But in the end, the court decided that the sale was final. Even when the zoo tried to back out, P.T. Barnum said, I wouldn't sell you this animal back for 100,000 pounds. America is waiting for Jumbo. It took a few weeks for the crate to be built to carry Jumbo across the ocean. But when the day arrived, mourning happened. Black curtains were hung, and the people turned out to pay their respects. For Jumbo, it was just like any other day. He followed Scott through the zoo, straight out the entrance gates. It was when those gates clinked shut behind him that he knew something was awry. Right there, as they were crossing the street, Jumbo plopped his huge, massive body down in the street and refused to budge. You're not going to get rid of me that easy. I'm not going anywhere. And neither is your traffic. The hours ticked by. Nothing could budge Jumbo. Not Scott, not water, not treats. He just sat there. The boys on the corner called out, "Is Jumbo gonna die?" "No, I'm not gonna die, although I might get ill from exposure. Just take me back to my home, why don't you?" In the end, it was Jumbo's stomach that got the better of him and got him moving. He just couldn't handle the small bits of food that they were giving him there in the street. When he stood up, resigned to follow Scott the rest of the way, he decided he wanted to leave London in style. He kicked over every fire hydrant along the way, leaving a trail of fountains behind him. London cried as Jumbo left, in more ways than one. It was a crate that he was put into to make the voyage, and Scott went along with him. Perhaps you have felt what happens to a body on the ocean waves. Scott was stuck in a cargo bay with a seasick elephant. He didn't bring enough changes of clothes to make it, but he did bring some Scotch whiskey, and that's what took the edge off of it for Jumbo. He never lost the taste for it either. It stayed with him the rest of his life. His story preceded him. In papers in New York, it read, "Welcome the homesick elephant to America." And P.T. Barnum was ready to show off their giant. So they made up a song about him, and they sang it, and the people came. They flocked to the big top. In the evenings, a light with the big top was all alight. The crowds surrounded the area, and they were in awe. With the acrobats flying overhead, the bareback horses with tricksters on top, the trainers going into cages with wild cats and coaxing them through rings of fire. But when they went home at night, they said, "Guess what we saw at the circus?" "What?" people asked. "We saw Jumbo the elephant." Well, what did he do? Nothing. He didn't have to do anything. He waved his ear and the ladies swooned. But in the elephant house, they heard a different story. Oh, those elephants, they said, who do they think he is? We parade, we dance, we stand on one foot, for crying out loud. He gets the king's treatment for standing there. But Jumbo was the king. Jumbo could move mountains. Jumbo could pull jets down from the sky. Jumbo can make an earthquake if he wants. The more miles Jumbo traveled, the bigger the stories grew. And Jumbo had traveled over 32,000 miles by the time P.T. Barnum's train pulled into St. Thomas, Ontario. the booming railroad town. The circus set up their tents near the railroad yard. A preliminary fence was put up around it to keep everyone safe. They were rather close to those train tracks. A schedule was posted of when the trains were coming, which ones, which tracks, to let everybody know when the animals could make their way along the tracks from the big top back to their train cars. And on September 17th, the elephants had finished early. Scott was leading them back along the tracks to their train car. And by the time the elephants came into view of the headlight of freight car 151, it was too late. Well, it wasn't too late for Jumbo, there at the end of the line, right in front of small elephant Tom Thumb. It wasn't too late for Jumbo to scoop up a trunk full of gravel and chuck it at the locomotive. And then that massive beast, he lifted Tom Thumb and moved him out of the way of the train cars and escorted Scott off the track before meeting the train himself. It was like two massive locomotives meeting each other. And in Jumbo's final breath, he used his trunk to pull Scott close to him one more time. But Jumbo was practically transfigured because P.T. Barnum stuffed him and had him keep traveling with the circus, along with his past mate, Alice. They kept singing to come see Jumbo. So, today, whenever we buy a jumbo-sized popcorn or a jumbo-sized candy bar to feed our jumbo-sized appetites, well, we can remember where all those outrageously large items got their name. Oh, have you seen the elephant? From England late he came. He is the king of elephants, and Jumbo